of the EG classes रात में ही schedule होते थे after my working hours, so that's why I was able to manage it. I'm smiling right now, लेकिन उस time पे बहुत ज़्यादा motivation की ज़रूरत पड़ती थी, and PRC became very very challenging for me. Especially with Honey sir, you would just feel that there's a lot of personal dedication there. ऐसा भी था कि CAT के एक हफ्ते या 2 हफ्ते पहले देयर वर अ फ्यू मॉक्स जो कि आउटलायर्स थे, उसमें मेरे बहुत कम या बहुत ज्यादा आ रहे थे. दिस इज अगेन वन ऑफ द रियली गुड थिंग्स अबाउट हनी सर इज कि वो हर एक टॉपिक के बाद वो तुम्हें summarize भी कर देते थे. And I tried to write down the answers for each of these questions, especially for tell me about yourself. Just thanks a lot to Hani sir and Shazar sir and Gaurav sir, because their dedication has really brought me here.
Huge congratulations on securing your SPJIMR convert.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Sneha.
Give me a brief background of your school, college, and what were you doing before CAT, basically your profile.
So my profile is essentially 988, and I graduated from Manipal. I did my BTech in Electronics and Communication, and yeah, after that I started preparing for my placements, and I joined KPMG. I was a consultant over there, and I worked under the Risk Advisory Department, and I worked there for about 3.5, 4 years. एंड आफ्टर दैट मैंने डिसाइड किया कि मैं कैट के लिए प्रिपेयर करना चाहती हूँ. तो फिर या आई जॉइन टीजी एंड आई प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर कैट एंड फाइनली एंडेड अप जॉइनिंग एसपी.
From which colleges did you receive calls, and which are the ones that you have successfully converted so far?
So I received calls from NMIMS, SP, and Bitsom, as well as IIM Vishakhapatnam, and then there were a few other IIMs, Sambalpur, and then etc. Jammu, etc. Yeah, I ended up converting NMIMS, SP, Bitsom, and then for IIM Vishakhapatnam, I was waitlisted.
So, were you working while preparing for CAT, or you took a break and then focused on the preparation?
So I was working while I was preparing for CAT, but then I think आखिरी के 3 महीने में I took a preparation leave.
Since you mentioned that you were working while preparing for CAT, right? So how did you balance your job responsibilities with your CAT preparation? Because job में तो 8 to 9 hours का work रहता है, and CAT preparation is a lot of hard work and dedication and time, right? So how did you balance both?
It was honestly very difficult, especially being in KPMG. I think especially during the high, like during the time of deliveries, it just gets very, very difficult. You have to work for around like 8 to 10 hours, mostly 10, 11 hours. And then फिर after that you come back. But then वही था कि मतलब मेन फोकस था कि हमें कैट में अच्छा स्कोर करना है, एक अच्छे कॉलेज में एडमिशन चाहिए. तो यू कम बैक, जस्ट गेट बैक अप अगेन, फिर से आप प्रिपेयर करने के लिए बैठ जाते हो. एंड आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द ईजी क्लासेस रात में ही शेड्यूल होते थे आफ्टर माय वर्किंग आवर्स, सो दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज एबल टू मैनेज इट प्रीटी डिसेंटली.
How did you come to know about Elitesgrid? Did someone recommend you, or you did your own kind of research to find out about Elitesgrid? What's the story?
तो एलीट्स ग्रिड के बारे में मुझे अपने फ्रेंड से ही पता चला था. सो वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स रेकमेंडेड इट टू मी.
Which batch did you enroll in, and when did your classes begin in Elitesgrid?
I was a part of the EG 500 crash course, I think. I think the classes began somewhere in, I want to say August, September. I don't quite remember exactly, but towards the last 3, 4 months before CAT.
Okay, CAT preparation often comes with its own sets of challenges, right? There are times when, despite of putting in consistent efforts, the results don't quite reflect the hard work, right? Especially when a mock test phase starts. So students feel a little bit demotivated after they see their score fluctuating a lot. So during those challenging days, what kept you going and helped you to stay balanced?
I'm smiling right now, लेकिन उस टाइम पे बहुत ज्यादा मोटिवेशन की जरूरत पड़ती थी. एंड of course there are days when you feel very very isolated because you're stuck in your room till 3 or 4 a.m. You're preparing and you can hear like others in your apartment like having a nice time, having a party, especially on the weekend. So it does get very difficult. But something that really kept me motivated is, I would say that हनी सर ने एक बात बोली थी हमें during our classes. उन्होंने बोला था कि जिस दिन तुम कैट देने जा रहे हो और रिजल्ट्स वगैरह तो तुम्हारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, लेकिन व्हेन यू रीच द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल और जब तुम वहाँ पे खड़े हो एंड लाइक यू क्लोज योर आईज एंड थिंक टू योर सेल्फ, if you feel that you have given your best, if you feel that you've tried your best, that should be enough. वो तुम्हारे लिए काफी होना चाहिए था, काफी होना चाहिए। तो मेरे लिए बस यही मोटिवेशन था कि आई वांट टू बी ट्रू टू माई सेल्फ एंड आई वांट टू गिव माई बेस्ट, सो दैट्स व्हाट केप्ट मी गोइंग।
कैट में 3 sections होते हैं, क्वांट, वीआरसी एंड डीएलआर. Was there any section in particular that you initially found tough than other sections?
It's actually quite the opposite. I would say that I initially thought that I would do really well in VARC, but then it just turned out to be the opposite. VARC became very, very challenging for me because after you start to understand all of the things that they tell you कि reject कैसे करना है options or how do you process the passage, तो this my score started dipping a little before finally improving right before the exams.
So how did you practice that VRC section to improve your performance?
I would say that I would do a lot of passages every day. Like मैंने रूल बना लिया था कि मुझे रोज 5 पैसेजेस के साथ बैठना है, एंड आई थिंक शहजाद सर ने भी बहुत सारे पैसेजेस अपलोड किए थे, हमारे प्रीवियस ईयर के भी पैसेजेस अपलोडेड थे वहाँ पे टेस्ट फॉर्म में। तो आई वुड टेक ऑल ऑफ दोज और फिर लाइक आई वुड राइट डाउन कि मैं क्यों इस ऑप्शन को रिजेक्ट कर रही हूँ, क्यों इसको सिलेक्ट कर रही हूँ, एंड देन during the discussions with sir, like that would really help me either strengthen my opinions about the rejections or about the ones that I'm selecting. तो उस हिसाब से बहुत ज़्यादा helpful था।
Okay, so क्वांट एंड डीएलआर के लिए पढ़ाई कैसे किए थे?
क्वांट तो बिकॉज आई एम एन इंजीनियर, मेरे लिए क्वांट थोड़ा इजी ही था। DILR ऑनेस्टली आई वाज वेरी वेरी scared and I was very intimidated by the entire section, लेकिन again both the sirs, Hani sir and then Gaurav sir, दोनों ने बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प किया था। एंड स्पेशली आई वांट टू से कि टुवर्ड्स द एंड जहाँ पे हमारे 10-10 घंटे के सेशंस होते थे, वहाँ पे आई वुड जस्ट शट डाउन एवरीथिंग, सिट विद देम और उन्हीं के साथ मैं कोशिश करती थी कि एकदम ध्यान दो, फोकस रखूं जितना हो सके, एंड दैट इज समथिंग दैट रियली हेल्प्ड। एंड yeah, I think one thing that I really want to highlight is that एजुकेशन सेक्टर में जैसे जैसे इट स्टार्टेड ब्लूमिंग, आई थिंक इट बिकेम अ लॉट मोर अबाउट प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, राइट? एंड जो उसका जो प्योर एसेंस होता है अबाउट बीइंग एबल टू ट्रांसफॉर्म लाइक समबडीज लाइफ, वो थोड़ा सा लॉस्ट होने लगा। बट आई थिंक दैट इज वेयर एलीज ग्रिड is very very different because they have been able to maintain both of the things really well. And especially with Honey, sir, you would just feel that there's a lot of personal dedication there. So when you see somebody else working that hard for you, like for your own benefit, then you also want to work hard, right? So that is what happened with me.
When you first started taking full length mocks, were your score high or low initially?
I would say that initially they were okay. But then I think there was a point where I started like over guessing myself, overthinking everything. तो वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा dip आया था before finally improving a little. But then it was very dependent on the tests because ऐसा भी था कि CAT के एक हफ्ते या 2 हफ्ते पहले there were a few mocks जो कि outliers थे, उसमें मेरे बहुत कम या बहुत ज्यादा आ रहे थे। So I would say कि rather than focusing on the marks that you get, I think what's more important कि अगर आप बैठ के ये analyze कर पाए कि आप क्या attend कर सकते थे या फिर क्या आपसे उस टाइम पे आपको क्लिक नहीं हुआ, तो किस टॉपिक की के लिए रिवीजन की जरूरत है। I think that is something that is more beneficial rather than looking at the score as a whole or as a sum up of what your future might be like.
So I would love to know how did you analyze your mocks? Because repeatedly you said that you analyzed everything, whatever you studied or in whatever score you got. You didn't look into that, but rather you put efforts on the faults that you made in the exam. So in your mock test. So can you please tell me what was your mock test analysis strategy section wise?
So I would say that especially for VARC, after after the entire paper, I would sit down with it again before checking the solutions. मैं एक बार दोबारा reattempt करती थी and I would try to see कि जो passages मैं नहीं कर पाई, I would reattempt those, and even the ones that I attempted, I would try to rethink about all of my options, try to really absorb the passage again, and then finally look at the solutions and see कि क्या मैंने सही किया है और क्या गलत. As far as quant goes, I think the good thing about quant was that I was able to understand कि कौन से A type के questions हैं या कौन से B, C. So or on the basis of difficulty levels, I would first immediately try to like recognize कि कौन से easy questions है. So I knew कि easy वाले तो बनने ही बनने हैं. उसमें I cannot leave them. जो medium difficulty के questions थे, I would also target them after I have first attempted all of the easy questions. फिर देन आई वुड एनालाइज कि मैंने मीडियम में कितने छोड़े, कितने मुझसे नहीं हो पाए उस टाइम पे, एंड देन फाइनली डिफिकल्ट वाले में रियली डिपेंडिंग ऑन what my personal preference towards certain sections were. तो मैं let's say if I liked algebra, तो मैं कोशिश करती थी कि algebra के भी मैं C type भी attempt कर पाऊँ.
How did you structure your revision in the last 30 to 45 days before CAT? Because there are so many formulas in quants, and also one need to remember the strategies that they make, right? In VRC, you have students make strategies like 2RC, then VA, then rest of the RCs like that. So, how did you revise everything? Did you revise through mocks, or you had any copy that you followed? What's that?
Strictly EG notes. जो भी हनी सर ने, I think this is again one of the really good things about हनी सर is कि वो हर एक टॉपिक के बाद वो तुम्हें summarize भी कर देते थे. So it would really get ingrained in your mind. I'm sure a lot of people have said that to you already. तो I would try to look at those summary वाले notes, और जितने भी problem types थे, there were certain like special problem types जो वो बार बार he would repeat कि तुम्हें याद है हमने ये ऐसे solve किया था. तो all of those things really helped. Again, the also the 10-hour long sessions that we had, उन सब में भी सब they were very beneficial in terms of revision.
Other than CAT, did you appear for any other exam?
I did. I appeared for NMAT, SNAP, and ZAT.
Okay, so I would love to know how did you prepare for those exams, because CAT and OMETs are a bit different, right? In that you have decision making section, then in NMAT and SNAP also there are some add-ons in the reasoning part, right? So how did you prepare for OMETs?
So I think one thing that's really important is for you to understand what's your priority. तो
Yeah.
मेरे लिए बहुत clear था कि मेरी priority CAT है, and CAT does cover a lot of it. Now, as far as let's say NMAT goes, तो वहाँ पे भी I think EG were providing a lot of different sessions for it. So I had joined those sessions as well. So let's say NMAT में if there's a lot of focus on probability, तो उसके लिए भी सर अलग से classes करते थे. There were videos that were uploaded. There were different tests that were uploaded. So I would try to follow that structure.
Okay, so and for decision making section, how did you prepare for that?
Absolutely, just full dedication to Honey sir. मैंने ज्यादा इधर उधर भागने की कोशिश ही नहीं की. I just fully dedicated myself to EG and their videos and classes.
Okay, coming back to the interview stage directly, then share how you prepared for your personal interview.
So for personal interviews, there were quite a few different phases. I would say that first R2 covers the really basics questions. Let's say, why do you want to pursue MBA, or why do you want to come for this college, or tell me something about yourself, the very basic question. So in my first level of preparation, I tried to write down the answers for each of these questions, especially for tell me about yourself. I really want to tell everyone कि आप जितने बार उसको रिफाइन करिएगा उतना बेटर आंसर आएगा, because that will set the tone for the interview. So that decides कि what are the things that the interviewer can pick up from your answer, and then how will the interview continue. तो मैंने I think almost 11-12 बार I went to different people. I took everybody's opinion and tried to refine my answer as much as I can. So after clearing up the basics, I then also prepared for the general knowledge questions and things like that. And something that again really helped is कि I was exposing myself to a lot of these interviews, be it online या फिर offline. I was appearing for a lot of mock interviews. So that also helped me to get myself familiarized with the whole idea or the whole concept of interviews, और वो माहौल से मैं खुद को familiarize कर पाई.
करंट अफेयर्स के लिए पढ़ना भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है इंटरव्यूज के लिए, तो उसके लिए आप पढ़ाई कैसे किए थे? कैसे पढ़ाई करते थे करंट अफेयर्स की? न्यूज़पेपर फॉलो करते थे या फिर यूट्यूब से करते थे या फिर कैसे?
तो करंट अफेयर्स के लिए आई वुड मोस्टली फॉलो यूट्यूब, and even in YouTube there's a YouTube channel called First Post. So that, to me, I feel like she really summarizes the points really well. Like after each news piece, the reporter would then like sit down and like give you like 10 key pointers. So that is how I tried to like write everything down. I also really took help from different family members. So at one point I had like, let's say my mom calling me and telling me कि अच्छा आज budget में ये सब discuss हुआ. So I would write those down, and then my dad would call me, my uncles would call me and tell me कि तुम, तो मैंने हर एक सेक्टर में अलग अलग अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स को दे रखे थे, and they would come and like tell me, because it's easier to absorb things when you have a conversation rather than सिर्फ आप वीडियोस देखे तो शायद उतना बैठ नहीं पाता है दिमाग में, but if you have a conversation about it, it helps. So that is what I did.
So when you saw that you converted SPJIMR, so what was the reaction? What was the first thing that came to your mind?
It was just a lot of happiness. The fact that कि पूरे पिछले साल की मेहनत मतलब फाइनली अभी उसका रिजल्ट मिल गया. So there was a lot of that. So the first thing that I did was to go and tell my mom, मम्मी हो गया. So it was a very, very nice moment for me.
What was your overall experience with Elitesgrid?
It was honestly one of the best coaching centers out there. और लाइक आई सेड, मैंने आपको पहले भी बोला है कि बहुत जगहों पे अभी इट्स जस्ट ऑल अबाउट प्रॉफिट्स, और फिर देयर इज नॉट अ लॉट ऑफ इंडिविजुअल अटेंशन. बट देन हियर व्हेन यू सी लाइक टीचर्स ट्राइंग टू work so hard for you, the least that you can do is to work hard for yourself, right? So मेरे लिए ये, this is something that really stood out.
Okay, so if you could give one important piece of advice to the CAT aspirant to help them improve their score, it can be a common mistake that they should avoid or something that they should consistently focus on during their preparation, then what would be your advice?
So I would say two things. First is to not try to run towards like not divert yourself in multiple different direction. I think एक जगह पे आप focus रखिए and just prepare through that particular source only. And second advice would be to not look at the mock scores and get too nervous. Just take it as the face value. Don't think कि यही तुम्हारा future CAT का score भी रहेगा. तो just take it as a learning rather than trying to think कि अब मेरा क्या होगा या फिर अब तो इतना ही स्कोर आएगा. That never really helps. It's always best to see what is it that you could have done better. And at the end of the day, there are teachers out there who are genuinely really dedicated. So they are out there to help you. So seek their help, try to contact them whenever. And it's not just about feeling demotivated about your scores. And of course, बहुत बुरा लगता है जब आप genuinely मेहनत करते हो और नहीं आपको आपके mock scores में वो reflect हो रहा है. But then talk to these people. Like they have, I feel like they are one of the best like support system that you'll have. And EG is really like a family for you out there. So seek the help of your friends, your family, and that also includes EG. So that is something that you should keep in mind.
That's a really helpful advice based on your own experience. It can definitely guide and motivate other CAT aspirants to prepare in a more focused way. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey with us from the struggle of the preparation to successfully getting into SPJAN. Big congratulations once again on this wholesome achievement. Also, many students who are going to watch your video will get a pathway how to prepare and how to think in a positive way. Of course, there's a lot of ups and downs in this journey because it's a competitive exam after all. So it's very unpredictable. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing everything very honestly. Wishing you all the best for this exciting new chapter. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Neha. Thank you. And then once again, just thanks a lot to Hani sir and Shazar sir and Gaurav sir, because their dedication has really brought me here. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody.